I recently helped a client who was only in his early 20s put some investing moves into place that set him up to make over $1 million within just a 12-month period. So I wanted to share this story so that you can learn from what he did and apply it for yourself. Now, this guy was only 21. He was earning an income of $120,000 a year and had about 45 grand in cash savings. He was also saving at a rate of 2 grand a month. When we started chatting, he talked about the fact that his big goal was that he wanted to buy his first property. He wasn't too fussed on whether it was an investment property or his own home, but he wanted to buy a property. And he lived in Sydney. Looking at the Sydney property market, he knew that he was going to need a boatload of cash to actually get into the market. Also, because he was pretty young, he didn't want the commitment of a mortgage right now, but he also did want to set himself up to be able to do that in the future. Now, because his goal seemed so big and so far away, he really wasn't that focused on it, and he was saving at a reasonable rate, 2 grand a month, but his expenses were actually super low. He was living at home and he knew that he had the capacity to save more, but he sort of felt a little bit apathetic, a little bit pointless because the goal was just so big and seemed unattainable. As a result, things were ticking over, but he wasn't making the progress that he wanted, and he certainly didn't feel good about what was going on with his money. So what we did was we literally just jumped onto the Money Smart website, looked at their compound interest calculator, and literally punched in the numbers and showed him that what it would look like if he was to invest some of the money that he had in savings and different amounts on a monthly basis, how that money would grow, where it would be in 12 months, in a couple of years, in 5 years, in 20 years, looking ahead into the future. When we looked at this, we just used the long-term share market return, which we know that anyone can get with the simple index fund, not advice by the way, but he was blown away with how much he could get from a growth perspective. So he did a couple of things. The first thing that he did was he uplifted his savings by $1,000 a month because he could see the numbers, and he was now starting to get motivated to see that his property deposit was going to be building, or even if he didn't buy the property, he was going to be building up a solid second income from investing. The second thing that he did was he invested part of the cash savings. He put a little bit in an emergency fund, invested the rest, and then invested his regular savings moving forward. As a result, the total investment that he made within 12 months was $61,000. Now, because he was only 21 and had so much time on his side, we looked at it, and that by age 60, based on just the long-term share market return, that $61,000 would grow to be worth over $3,025,000. Now, I have no doubt that if we hadn't got connected through an event that he saw me talking at, that if we'd spoken 12 months later, he would have been in exactly the same position because he didn't really understand investing, didn't know how to use those tools. But that's through a simple conversation and seeing the power, setting some clear targets, he was immediately more motivated to make it happen. And you can see from the results that setting targets really does make a big difference.